Then when Jesus continues, he says something that would have made everyone in that room's jaw drop. It challenged their cultural assumptions. It put something into their theological worldview that did not fit, because look at what he says next. He says in verse 20, God said to him, to this rich guy who had ample stuff, God said to him, fool. To which they would have said, fool? He cannot be a fool, he's rich. He must be blessed, he must be wise, he has to be. I mean, imagine yourself coming into that kind of money. You've got more money than you know what to do with. You built structures, you protected your wealth, you invested it, you put it in tax shelter little things so that you could access it later. You had enough to consume now, enough to consume later. You had enough for your family to consume now, for your family to consume later. He cannot be a fool, he must be wise. And God says, no, you're a fool. Why? Look at what he says. This night, verse 20, this night your soul is required of you. In other words, you're out of time before you ran out of money. And we don't believe that about ourselves. We believe if I've got enough money in the bank, then surely I'll live long enough to enjoy all the money. I got $225,000 in the bank for my retirement. I'm at least going to make it to 80. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Just like in this guy's life, you ran out of time before you ran out of money. It's kind of like that one guy. He says, I can't be out of money. Look at all these checks I've got left. Well, it don't really work that way. You ran out of time before you ran out of money. And the things that you have prepared, in other words, all of that wealth that you've got stacked in all of those barns, whose will they be? The answer? Somebody else. Okay, who gets all the extra? Somebody else. But here's the key. Not because you gave it, but because you're dead. Here's something you need to know. For a lot of you, the reason you're here today is to learn this one truth. You read through the scripture, you do not get credit for what you leave. You know why? Because everybody leaves the same amount. All. You do not get credit for what you leave. You get credit for how you use what you've been given while you're here. And this guy had an opportunity. He wasted his opportunity. Now he's out of time. Total loss. And look at what Jesus says in verse 21. So is the one. In other words, this is how it'll be for anyone who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God. There's the filter. So Jesus gives us a filter through which we need to think about all of our financial decisions. To think about our consumption now, to think about our consumption later. We can either choose to be rich towards God or be rich towards ourselves. And this category, be rich towards God, totally revolutionary. No one had come up with this before. This was unique to Jesus. This is the reason why Christians have built schools and hospitals and given to the poor and built food pantries, and Mother Teresa and these radical revolutionary Christians who have given their lives to the support of other people. They do that because they are convinced by this truth that it is better to be rich towards God than it is to be rich towards myself. So every single decision that we make, we have an opportunity to be either rich towards God or rich towards ourselves. Now,